So there has been major controversy surrounding the WNBA recently, and once again, it surrounds it's because of injuries, I guess. So if you don't know, the WNBA has a major controversy going on between Angel Reese and the head coach Sandy Bargello. I can't really say her last name, but her name is Sandy. I think she's a Toronto Tempo head coach. Yeah, I think she's the Toronto Tempo head coach, and apparently Angel Reese, like she said, like some type of like remark towards Angel Reese. She called Angel Reese a protected species, and yeah, and Angel Reese and somebody made a comment on it on Twitter, and Angel Reese we reposted the tweet and was like, are we surprised, and then added Sandy and put a clown and called her a clown and all that. Now everybody's kind of crying, and Sandy actually got suspended for a game. Sandy actually got suspended for a game for doing that. So, yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. Now, a lot of people are saying that Sandy did wasn't made being like wasn't making it like as like and a lot of people are saying that Cindy didn't say it as like a racist term. They said it as in like a apparently the term is Australian, and it actually meant that she was like a player who's like constantly gets all the whistles and all that. She's a player that is constantly protected by like the refs and the league and all that. Shit like that, which is literally the definition by with that's literally what Caitlin Clark is, but we're not gonna get into all that right now. But yeah, man, but everybody's kind of going on a tirade. Of course, you got all the MAGA white supremacists calling injuries a professional victim and crime victim and all, and and all this other shit, right? But nobody says it. But and I'm gonna get into why, and I'm about to get into why I think all these people need to shut the hell up, right? Now, first of all, my stance on it, now I'm gonna say this. I don't think Sandy actually said meant it with racist intent. If she did, she absolutely needs to get fired. Like she don't need a coach in the league ever again. But I don't think she actually meant it like in a racist way. But yeah, I don't think she should have been suspended for a game. I mean, once again, I don't think she meant it racist and like a racist intent. Um, I definitely don't think she should lose a job. Now, once again, if she did say it in a racist way, like she did truly meant it with a racist intent, then yeah, she should absolutely lose a job and never coach in the league again. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think anybody's that stupid. I don't think anybody's that stupid to sit there and I don't think anybody's that stupid to actually make a racist remark on national TV to one of the biggest players in the WNBA. Like that's fucking stupid. Like who would do that? You know? But once again, I don't think Sandy now I don't know her personally. For all we know, she could have meant it in a racist way. And if that was the case, then she absolutely needs to be fired. But once again, like I don't think anybody would be that dumb to say something like that on national television. Plus, I think she truly didn't mean it. I think she truly meant that Angel Reese was constantly getting calls from the refs. Because that's what they say that's what they say that phrase means. So I mean, hey, we're just gonna take the word for it. We're not gonna go. But but all right. So now going into how I think about it, right? Now, once again, a lot of people are hating on Angel Reese, shitting on Angel Reese because, Angel Reese calls victim once again, and they say that Angel Reese always weaponizes her fan base. She always weaponizes her fan base and shit like that. But see, here's my thing about it, right? And I'm really about to expose a lot of you fucking content creators, bro. Why don't y'all never say, why don't y'all never call out Caitlin Clark's fan base when they go on racist tirades and tear down every player in the fucking league because they fouled her? Why don't they, and I like Make Talk Hoops. Shout out to Make Talk Hoops. Make Talk Hoops, bro. But you're crying about what Angel Reese did, but I don't never see you talk about how Angel Reese, how Caitlin Clark's fan base is constantly attacking people. And Caitlin Clark's fan base has done way worse. They have attacked people for just critiquing Caitlin Clark. Like, we don't have to like Caitlyn Clark, but for some reason, Caitlyn Clark's fan base is trying to force people. If you say anything negative about Caitlyn Clark, you're now a racist. You're anti-white. You're a thug. You're ghetto. You hate Caitlyn Clark. First of all, just because I don't first of all, I don't have to like Caitlyn Clark. And second of all, just because I don't like Caitlyn Clark or just because I critique her game doesn't mean that I hate her. Once again, it's like these dumbass Caitlyn Clark fans think you have to like her. No, bro. We're here to play basketball. Who cares? I'm not. If I'm the opposing team, I'm not here to be friends with Caitlyn Clark, bro. I'm not being paid to just let Caitlyn Clark just do whatever the hell she wants all game. No, I will get fired. I will lose my job for doing that shit, right? I will be benched for doing that shit, right? But it's like these Caitlyn Clark fans want everything to be handed to Caitlyn Clark and shit like that. But once again, back to what I was saying. Nobody calls out Caitlyn Clark's fan base when they be sending death threats, saying calling people racist remarks, saying that people's children should, all because they did a foul on Caitlyn Clark. They called out the Alyssa Thomas situation. That people actually use AI to make the actual elbow thing look worse. Was it kind of bad? Kind of. But at the same time, though, I don't think Alyssa Thomas actually did that on purpose, right? They sent death threats to Chelsea Gray because because Chelsea Gray did this. Because Chelsea Gray did this. Trying to get separation and shit like that. But they sent death threats to Chelsea Gray for doing that shit because it hit Caitlyn Clark in the chest, right? But nobody said shit when Caitlyn Clark pushes off a player every single play. She's constantly dribbling, pushing off a player. You can't do that. Hold up. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Like, nobody said shit when Caitlyn Clark pushes off a player. Nobody said shit about that. But let Chelsea Gray do a typical bully ball move, trying to push Caitlyn Clark out the way and trying to create separation so she can score, and people sending her death threats. When Caitlyn Clark fans send people death threats for just doing basketball moves and for fouling, nobody says shit. Nobody calls out Caitlyn Clark's fan base when they send these players death threats and real racism. Nobody says so. Nothing. I don't never see MGTOW who's. I don't never see behind the lines white supremacist ass. I never see none of these dumbass niggas. I never see none of these people call out Caitlyn Clark's fan base. Well, not Mick. I'm not saying like MGTOW sports because I like MGTOW sports. I don't think he's one of these crazy ass Caitlyn Clark fans, even though he is a Fever fan. I don't think he's a bad, I don't think he's one of those type of MAGAs or whatever, So I'm not calling him a dumbass, but my point still saying, Mick is one of the actual reasonable Caitlyn Clark fans. But my point still stands. You call out Angel Reese, but you don't call out Caitlyn Clark, weaponizing her fan base. Caitlyn Clark purposely acting like a drama queen so that her fan base goes and attacks the refs, goes and attacks a player. Nobody says shit when Caitlyn Clark fans go sends people death threats. When Caitlyn Clark's fan base sends people death threats. Sends people real racism. Because they made a fucking basketball play. Or they committed a foul. Alright, so this is part 2 of the video I just did. My phone ran out of storage, so the video cut short. And instead of just redoing the whole video, I'm just gonna just do it and then mash it up, that type stuff. So this is part 2 of the video because my phone ran out of storage and cut out and stuff like that. But anyway, as I was saying, nobody says nothing when Caitlyn Clark's fan base goes on racial tirades on these players who just committing fouls and doing basketball plays. Nobody says nothing about that. But Angel Reese didn't even do. She didn't even tell nobody to go do anything. She just called out Sandy. That's all she did. Caitlyn Clark's fan base have done worse for less, but nobody says nothing about that, right? And now I'm gonna get into why. And now I need y'all to understand how Angel Reese thinks on a daily basis, right? Because a lot of people are just looking at it from just a outside perspective, right? Oh, Angel Reese is crying racism because she's out. They're not actually thinking Angel Reese's thought process. Now think about it like this: imagine being in Angel Reese's shoes. Imagine being in Angel Reese's shoes and a whole entire group of people. Imagine being in Angel Reese's shoes and white America hates you because you did this to Caitlin Clark after she already did this to you first, right? But imagine an entire group of people, an entire fan base, right? An entire fan base, and an entire group of people, white America. Imagine these people hate you because you did this. Because you whooped Caitlin Clark's ass in the national championship. Imagine that. Now imagine how you feel. Now imagine how she feels constantly getting racism and hate for nothing every single day. If Angel Reese breathes, people are hating on her. They call her Sister Sloth, they call her a thug, a ghetto, they call her all these different types of names, right? Nobody says shit. Nobody defends Angel Reese when she gets this much hate for just doing this. Nobody says shit, right? But now think about it like this. Imagine you're Angel Reese and you get that constant hate and racism every day, and then you see a white head coach across calling you a protected species. Or you see on Twitter that Sandy was calling you a protected species. Now let me think of it. Let me think of it like this. Well, she probably thought protected means, oh, black people are always playing professional victim. Oh, black people are protected by the government. Oh, black people don't have to work for nothing, which isn't true. Black people, black people are protected, and then the species where people always call black people a different species, call us monkeys and apes and shit like that, which is pretty crazy to me coming from a Neanderthal. But once again, I digress, right? Once again, imagine being Angel Reese and you seeing that and mind you, this phrase is from Australia. Nobody knows. I didn't know what the phrase meant. Nobody knows what that phrase meant. So yeah, Sandy may not have had harmful intentions by saying it, but at the same time, I mean, we don't know what you meant. You're from Australia. We don't know that. We're in America. So Angel Reese probably immediately thought, okay, she just called me something racist. All right, bet. Let's call her ass out. You know? And Angel Reese she didn't even tell nobody to do nothing, bro. All she did was just, call her out on Twitter. And then black people did what black people should do. You know? Now one thing I do critique Angel Reese for is her constantly tweeting and berating her, even though Sandy multiple times has tried to reach out and apologize to Angel Reese. I do think no, but you have to think about at the same time though. You have to think about Angel Reese in that case too. Okay, somebody this white lady just called me a racist remark. What the fuck you need to apologize to me for? No, stay away from me. You just showed me your true colors. Stay away from me. This is how Angel Reese is thinking, bro. Because once again, nobody, Now I heard that she's kind of purposely ignoring. I heard that she's purposely ignoring people who are trying to tell us what the phrase mean and all that. But at the same time, bro, like Angel Reese is one of the most hated people in America, bro. All because she did this and beat America's great white hope in the fucking national championship. Which Caitlin Clark has still yet to win a national fucking championship at any level in sports. But she's the GOAT, but she's the best player. Yeah, cut that shit out. That's another video that's another thing I wanna make a video about. But like I said, this is just how I feel. I'm still stand by Angel Reese. Once again, Angel Reese is the most hated player in America, bro. And for no reason. I'ma still stick by Angel Reese. But Sandy, if what Sandy meant was actually racist, she needs to be fired. But I don't think so. I think she actually truly didn't mean that with racist intent. So I think hopefully Sandy can get her career back on track. Hopefully she doesn't get fired or anything like that. But but of course, all the white supremacists, all the conservatives, all let me cry. Oh, Angel Reese plays victim once again. I got a video coming up for all you dumbasses, bro. Cause I ain't gonna lie though. Even though I don't want my YouTube to be just about this, though, I need to call out you white supremacists, bro. I need to call some of y'all out. All you white supremacists, all you tap dancing black raccoon stepping fetchers, I need to call y'all out, bro. Once again, this isn't something I just want my entire channel. I don't want my channel to be just about politics. But at the same time, I need to start calling some of y'all raccoons and some of y'all stepping fetches out. I need to start calling some of y'all white supremacists out, man. And I'm gonna definitely start calling out Caitlin Clark. Because how come Kelsey Mitchell has multiple 30-point games and Caitlin Clark plays terrible, but Caitlin Clark has one 45-point game and everybody hypes her up, but nobody talks about Kelsey Mitchell. Would y'all believe me if I seen somebody say, "Oh, who cares about Kelsey Mitchell's empty 30 points?" But they turn around and hype up Caitlin Clark's 45-point game. Anyway, man, Tavion's Talk signing out, man. I got more videos coming on the way. Check out my Martavion's TV channel, man.